The Apostle John says this: God blesses the one who reads the words of this prophecy to the church, and he blesses all who listen to his message and obey what it says, for the time is near. And brothers and sisters, believe me, the time is indeed near. From what I can see here in Revelation chapter 1, verse 3, there is a call for us to remain faithful to the end. That's what I want to talk to you today, is about the call to remain faithful till the end. Majority of the human race don't even understand that God wants nothing more than to be their ultimate blessing. He don't mind blessing us, but most importantly, he desires to be our ultimate blessing. I'm pretty sure you're probably saying, with all this stuff going on, God, please bless me. I need a blessing right now. But God said, I don't just want to bless you. I want to be your ultimate blessing. Hashtag greatest asset of all. God is known as the one who loves humanity with unconditional love. His love will continue for people no matter what decision they decide to make in life. That being said, though, there are unpleasant consequences that comes upon people for their rejection and neglecting of God's love. According to John 3:16, God demonstrated his love for us when he sent and sacrificed his son, Jesus Christ. Understand that all who refuse to accept and receive the gift of God's son will lose out on the greatest benefit known to humanity. Those who have accepted and received the gift of God's son must remain faithful to their commitment until the end of this hard journey on earth. Although it gets hard sometimes, we got to continue to remain faithful to the will of Almighty God. God said, I will give you strength in time of weakness. Before his crucifixion, Jesus told his followers to deny themselves and to pick up their cross and follow after him. In spite of the opposition they would face, they had to remain faithful to his call. And like the disciples of that day, we must remain faithful to the call of God that we have committed ourselves to, in spite of our difficulties. Even after his return to heaven, Jesus instructed his followers to remain faithful until the end. In Revelation chapter 3, verse 8, he spoke to the church in Philadelphia saying, I know your works. Behold, I have set before you an open door that no one can shut. Because you have a little strength and have kept my word and have not denied my name. So we see, brothers and sisters, that our reward is determined by our faithfulness and our commitment to the Lord. It's not about how we start, but it's about how we finish. And it's not about what we're talking about, but it's about what we are doing with our lives. We must make the decision to remain faithful and be rewarded, or else remain foolish and be exposed of our foolishness. In verse 10 of that chapter 3 of Revelation, Jesus said, because you have obeyed my command to persevere, I will protect you from the great time of testing that will come upon the whole world to test those who belong to this world. Jesus said this because he knows that there are some who truly is of the kingdom of God, but then again, there are others who are simply spectators in the church. He is the omniscient one, the one who knows all and sees all. That being said, it is high time for spectators to cease from their spectating and become the constant participator in the kingdom of Almighty God. We are in a time of great deception, brothers and sisters, like we've never seen before. And if we are not serious about the purpose and will of God, we will fall into the deception. Jesus himself says in Matthew 24:24, there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect of God. See, brothers and sisters, we have to make up in our mind right now whether we're going to be the elect of God or the rejects of God. God elects those who are faithful to him. So if you are faithful, you will be free from the deception of the enemy. But on the other hand, if you are faithless, you will be consumed just as Satan intends for you to be. In my closing words, understand, my fellow human beings, that the things we are experiencing in this world right now is not even close to the full extent of what will take place on this earth when God pours out his bowl of wrath. That's why we must remain faithful to God's will so we can have the courage to endure, not only through COVID-19 or coronavirus, but whatever we are confronted with upon this earth. May God give you the courage and all the power that you need to remain faithful indeed. Sincerely, Pastor Leon C. Marshall.